Hello friends, today we're continuing our series of videos where we're drinking unusual experimental rare teas, and the tea we're going to be drinking today is truly an experimental one. It's Kombucha Pu-erh. We called it Kombu Pu. So those of you who are familiar with kombucha know that kombucha is is based on tea, but today we're going to be drinking tea that is made with an aid of kombucha. So Shou Pu-erh, those of you familiar with Shou Pu-erh know that Shou Pu-erh is made with a processing step that is called wo. So what is wo? Basically, once the tea is initially processed, it is placed in a room with a very hot and humid environment. It is put in big piles and then sprinkled with water. And because of the high temperature and humidity and moisture, a bacteria appears, useful bacteria appears in the tea, and it starts fermenting it. And this is how aging process that in the case of Shou Pu-erh usually takes many years, decades, happens in Shou Pu-erh in a span of just couple of weeks. This idea for Kombucha Pu-erh was introduced to us by our tea friend Robert, who told us about this idea, shared it with us, and we shared it with our friends and partners in Yunnan. And basically they implemented for us, and together in this collaboration we made this pu-erh. So what they did, basically they took pu-erh, and based on this pu-erh they made kombucha. So then they took this kombucha, and in the processing step wo, where tea is sprinkled with water, instead of water they sprinkled it with kombucha. So they introduced bacteria, the useful bacteria of kombucha, to tea, and in this mix they made this Shou Pu-erh that basically uses, you can say, the double effect of bacteria for aging, for fermentation. We think that the tea that came out as a result is a very good one, and we'd like to share it with you. And today we're gonna taste it and see what it tastes like, and how it is different from usual Shou Pu-erh. So let's start by warming up the teapot. Today we're going to be using 80mm Yixing Zhuni teapot. Let's preheat it in order to open up the tea. And the ratio that we're going to be using is 1:20. 1 gram of tea to 20 milliliters of water. So in case of 80 milliliter teapot, we're going to be using 4 grams of tea. So warming up our Gong Dao Bei. And placing tea inside of our Zhuni teapot. In order to warm it up, prepare it for brewing. Warming up the cup. So from the pre-warmed tea I get slightly earthy notes, but otherwise a very clean taste of I would call it like the smell of jam. Maybe raspberry jam. The lid doesn't give much smell, but the smell from the body of the teapot is just heavenly. Very sweet, very slightly earthy, very clean otherwise. So first we're gonna just rinse the tea. We're not gonna drink the first brew. And the reason why we're rinsing it is because the tea is compressed and it needs some time and pressure of water to open up. So the first brew is very weak. We don't need it. We can discard it. I'll pour just a little bit just to rinse my mouth. To clean my palate from the taste that may be accumulated there during the day, to refresh my palate. Just make sure not to drink it while it's too hot, not to burn your tongue, because otherwise you won't be able to feel the taste of tea afterwards. But I think it's a good habit to clean your palate with a rinse. And now we're ready for the first infusion. Still the same notes. I feel like a raspberry jam being a predominantly note in this tea at the moment. And we're pouring directly on the leaves because it's a compressed tea. We want to apply some pressure in order to open it up a little. And first sipping is a short one. I'm gonna remove the tea so you see the color of the brew. You see that it's pretty light. Usually Shou Pu-erh gives out like a darker brew even on first infusions. This one is relatively light. Very nice pleasant color. You can see that it's very clean. No cloudness in this tea. Just the way it's supposed to be. The notes of jam just intensified, and I feel some notes of like citrus, like orange, maybe like blood orange, like sweet citrus. Nice and pleasant. Right now I don't pick any earthiness. Maybe let me smell the body. Maybe in the body I will feel a little bit. No earthiness whatsoever. Very clean brew. Just raspberry jam and citrus notes at the moment. Give it some time for the brew to cool off, because while the brew is hot, you may not feel the intricacies and the details and the nuances of the taste, because your tongue uh, cannot feel all these little details uh, while the brew is hot. The taste has like very pleasant dark notes, and pleasant sweetness of the jam, of raspberry jam, but also pleasant sourness that comes from kombucha. Those who like kombucha know this like pleasantly sour taste of kombucha, and you can definitely feel it in this brew. It is not overpowering. It works beautifully, interplaying with the sweetness of Shou Pu-erh. Let's discard what's left of the first brew, so we'll leave more room for the second one, because usually second brew in Shou Pu-erh has more substance. Right now I don't feel much smell coming from Guangdao Bay. Probably need like a couple of more infusions for it to start coming out. Once again, pouring directly on the leaves. And by rocking the body of the teapot, uh, we make sure that the brew is distributed evenly within the teapot, that it is not layered. And while it's cooling off, I love watching the interplay of steam on the walls of Guangdao Bay, how the steam is rising, and how it's dancing on the walls. That's why I love glass Guangdao Bays, that you can see the color of the brew and the steam and all of this beautiful play and movement. And look at the color of the brew. It's like dark burgundy, I would say. I really like it. Very nice, transparent, no cloudness, very clean, not overly dark. All the signs of quality, good quality pu-erh. On the second brew, there is more sweetness. The sweetness of Shou Pu-erh starts shining through. Some earthy notes starting to appear, like pleasant earthy notes. Still plenty of notes of jam, but also some notes of leather and tobacco. and very pleasant hint of sourness on the background and in the finish. It's like a very well blended sourness in the sweetness, like really like sweet and sour taste. I like the complexity of this tea. It has like much going on, like layers of different things going on at the same time. Surprisingly, the cup doesn't smell much. Can pick up aroma just from an empty cup. Not much smell in Gongdao Bay either. I cannot say that there is no aroma coming from it, but it's very faint. Interesting. Very pleasant taste. Plenty of aroma coming from the teapot though. From the lid, I smell mostly like leather and tobacco. And from the body, um, it's like a bouquet of like forest aromas with a hint of surprisingly citrus. An interesting combination. And let's do a third brew. Let's give it a little longer steeping this time. Let's let it cool off. Watch the steam rising. These idle moments between the brews are probably my favorite ones. Just, looking at the teaware, enjoying the aesthetics of the whole setup, looking at the steam rising, the interplay of steam on Gongdao Bay, steam rising from the teacup. These are probably my most favorite, like, serene moments. Right now the taste is very rounded. Everything is very smoothly blended together. Nothing like stand on its own, but everything interplays very elegantly. The sweetness and the sourness, the citrus notes and berry notes and forest notes. The mouthfeel is very like dense and coating. This tea has like a medium to full body. The finish is quite mouth-watering. It's like medium long. I wouldn't call it like the longest finish, but it's medium long, definitely mouth-watering. Um, Very pleasant one. And this tea is very calm, gives you like a very calm, uh, warming energy. Definitely good for like rainy days, cold days. It's like I could call this tea uh, winter with a hint of spring, because it has this like sweet warming qualities, but those notes that come from kombucha, the sourness and the sharpness, it's like hinting to spring. A very nice, interesting combination. We had this tea in our collection for some time, and I can say for myself this is one of my favorite Shou Pu-erhs, and I want to say another special thank you to Robert, who shared this idea with us. Thank you, Robert. Without you, it wouldn't be possible. And guys, if you want to find this tea, you can find it in our shop. The link is gonna be in the description. And also sign up to our newsletter to stay in the know, to be aware of our new experiments and our new arrivals and special deals for tea. Links are gonna be in the description and in the first comment. And till next video, cheers.